The figures that we've received this week show that the numbers availing of the ARP continue to increase. They've increased by well over 3,000 this year alone so far. Sinn Féin have been raising concerns that this scheme is potentially distorting the private rental sector, and the evidence seems to be bearing that out. That says that there is an urgent need for a review of this scheme, and there is an urgent need for an evaluation so that we can ensure that the scheme operates on a fair basis, because fairness has to be at the heart of all that we do to support those in housing need, whether it be those who have come to Ireland from elsewhere or indeed Irish citizens themselves. This scheme is unique. It offers housing assistance to Ukrainians that are in Ireland under the Temporary Protection Directive that aren't available to anybody else in housing need. It provides landlords with a tax-free payment. Crucially though, the scheme also allows for top-up payments to be made by the tenant to the landlord, and those top-up payments are completely unregulated. What we do know is that there are substantially more properties under this scheme than there are property owners or landlords, so it's clear that there are some individuals that are gaining from this scheme for multiple properties, and that would suggest that these are larger landlord type scenarios. It's the only housing assistance support that is provided to anybody of any nationality in Ireland that isn't means tested. There are particular parts of the country that are especially impacted by the ARP, and Donegal is the most stark example of that, where there are now 2,000 properties plus in Donegal that are being utilised by the ARP, and that's in a county where there is virtually no private rental accommodation available. We're making that call on the Minister for Justice today, knowing as we do that he has information in respect of the impact of this scheme on the private rental sector, but that information hasn't been shared. In fact, it's even been refused under Freedom of Information request. So now is the time to carry out a review of that scheme so that we can ensure that we can have a scheme in place that supports those people who are opening up their homes, but limits it to those that inserts a means test, as will be the case in any other housing assistance support, and that bans the practice of top-up payments, which, as I say, are currently unregulated.